Jack, Jack, hookah to the rooter, Jack, 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 hookah to the rooter, Jack, 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 hookah to the rooter, Jack, Jack.
From Hollywood, where you'll find the most beautiful girls in the world, Gledhill Dodge Plymouth presents Jack Rourke Beauty Parade. This is last week's winner. Will she win again tonight? We'll find out a little bit later. Jack Rourke's Beauty Parade is presented by the one and only Gledhill Dodge Plymouth at 7720 South Vermont, the folks who must sell 150 new cars and trucks this month alone. You still make your own appraisal at Gledhill, but most important, they must make way for bigger new car shipments coming in Monday morning. Get the deal of your life tomorrow. The present stock of Dodge trucks, Plymouth, and Dodge automobiles must be sold by the one and only Gledhill at 7720 South Vermont. And now here's the star of our show, Jack Rourke.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, folks. Great to have you all with us today. We have a fine studio audience. Like to have you meet them. Let's hear from everybody in the studio audience. What is your hometown, folks? Let's hear it. Okay. Which do you prefer, blondes, brunettes, or redheads?
Brunettes!
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've already seen the young lady who won last week. She's back here to defend her title tonight against three other delightful young ladies. The studio audience, right here with us, will pick the winner tonight based on three things: beauty of face, beauty of figure, and personality. We also have a number of motion picture producers and casting directors watching the show tonight, as we do every week, in order that there's some possibility that a girl might get a little bit of a boost along the road to stardom on the show. That's what we're hoping for. And, of course, I've been on the show quite a bit of the time myself, and I'd like to get into pictures, but I've had a little trouble. I used to be a matinee idol, you may know. I did one matinee, and from then on I was idle. I don't know if that ever happened to you. But, oh, thank you. Got a telegram here. Great. It's from a movie company, Preston. It says, Dear Jack Rourke, 20th Century Fox is proud of you. 20th Century Fox needs you. 20th Century Fox can have you. It's signed Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. Well, okay, I want to introduce our wonderful guest advisors this evening now, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, the lovely young Latin star who scored such a tremendous hit by her excellent performance in the Academy Award nominee picture High Noon, Miss Cati Jurado, right here. All right.
Buenas noches.
Thank you.
Y muchas gracias.
Well, muchas gracias to you, Cati. Yes,
Thank
indeed.
you very much to you.
Bésame mucho and all that sort of thing.
Bésame mucho later.
Later. Okay. And one of the most celebrated of all of the writers, producers, and directors in Hollywood, this gentleman does all three things. He is also an Academy Award winner and been associated with some of the greatest pictures ever made in Hollywood. His name, Mr. Preston Sturgis, right here. Hi, Preston. See you. All right, we'll hear more from the guest advisors a little bit later on, ladies and gentlemen. Each of the girls tonight will have a problem to present to them, but we're going to start right now with our first candidate for beauty this evening. Her name, ladies and gentlemen, candidate for beauty number 1, Miss Liliana Blott. Let's have her bring up. Liliana Blott, folks, is 5 feet 6 inches tall. She weighs 120 pounds. Her age is 19. She has brown eyes and red hair. Born in El Paso, Texas, lives in Sherman Oaks, California now. She's not married. She speaks Spanish, Cati. Oh. And she likes to dive, one of her hobbies, diving. And she cooks cheesecake. And Bob Hope picked her as one of the 10 most beautiful girls in the world for his television show, which she is on every time Bob is. And let's see, she is interested in sports. She has one particular fellow in mind, though nothing serious has developed thus far. And that's candidate for beauty number 1, Miss Liliana Blott. Hi, Liliana.
Hi.
I'm glad to see you tonight.
Nice to see you, too.
How do you feel?
Oh, fine.
Good shape. Now, you work with Bob Hope on his shows, do you?
Yes, just one I was on.
I see. How do you find that he is to work with?
Oh, he's wonderful to work with.
Nice fella, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Now, your particular situation is such that you're not married, right?
No, I'm not.
Can you describe type of fella you'd like to marry?
Oh, I like to marry a real tall, blonde boy.
Tall, blonde boy. Any volunteers in the audience? Yeah. Couple of tall, blonde boys in the audience.
Would it be easier for a girl to get in the movies if she were married or single?
Oh, married or single? Is it easier to get in motion pictures if you're married or single? Cotty, how do you feel about that?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. If you are a good actress, you don't need a single or married. But of course, I know all the producers, the men, love the single girls.
I see. You think maybe a little bit more chance if you're single?
Well, take more time to be in business. You marry, but if you show that you are a good actress, take your time and you show it.
Are you single, Cotty?
Now, yes, but I was married.
Oh, I see. Well, all right. How about you on this, Preston? Married
Are
or
you
single?
No. I think, Cathy, that you said so long as you are a good actress, it doesn't matter whether you are married or whether you are single, which is very true. But I don't think that the problem is that the problem is how will she get to show that she is a good actress. And it is more difficult to show that she is a good actress if she takes her husband with her on an interview.
Well, she's going to show, yes, the way...
husband would have to be a good actor, too, under such circumstances.
Well, listen, I think... No, but I'm going to tell you something.
Yes.
When she's going to get a job,
Yes.
she's not going to bring her husband with her.
Oh,
You think so?
he takes care of the dog outside in the car.
No, don't fish.
No.
Don't fish.
He stays home.
No.
Well, all right. We appreciate this. I think that sort of answers the question for you, don't you?
But if you're still single, you're smart. Still single.
Fair enough, Cotty. Well, the folks feel it doesn't matter as long as you're a good actress. Doesn't matter too much one way or the other. Might be a little bit in getting started that being single couldn't hurt you right at the beginning because of the romantic attachment folks at home might have for you. Okay?
Okay.
All right, we'll see you a little bit later on, Liliana, right?
All right. Bye-bye.
Candidate for beauty number one, folks, Miss Liliana Blood, right there. All righty. All right, we're going to continue now with candidate for beauty number two. Her name, Miss Harriet Sniffle, right here. Sniffle, folks, is 5'5½". She weighs 115 pounds, 20 years of age, brown eyes, black hair. She's a product of Los Angeles, was raised here, and she lives here now in Los Angeles. She's not married. She goes to UCLA in the morning, and she works also. She has a hobby, and that is hot rods, automobiles. She would like to marry a businessman rather than an actor, and she was recently named by a big group as Miss Parts with Appeal. That is her title, Miss Parts with Appeal. And that's candidate for beauty number two, Harriet Sniffle. Well, Harriet.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you tonight?
Just fine, thank you.
Had a girl. You made the trip without any trouble, I see.
No trouble whatsoever.
How about this Miss Parts with Appeal? I'm sure you're qualified, but what does that happen to represent?
Well, I was in a picture, and I was to show off this part, which was a Hallebrand will, and I was called Miss Parts with Appeal. That was the part, and I was the appeal.
I see. And this hot rod... Simon? Oh, excuse me.
And I'm also interested in hot rods, and that ties in with the picture.
I imagine so. What, do you know a lot about hot rods?
Oh, quite a bit. I have one myself.
You have your own hot rod?
Yeah.
There's a lady with And what is with a hot rod? I never had much...
Well, I've done quite a bit on it. I've milled my head to boost my compression ratio. And I have a dual exhaust system, because, you know, if you have a dual exhaust system, it relieves the back pressure of the engine. And, you know, back pressure is very detrimental to the engine.
You're telling me. I've had it for years. Yes, indeed. Well, that's very interesting.
And I'm thinking of customizing it, too, chopping and channeling it.
I think you should.
Taking off the chrome.
Well, I wouldn't do that. I think you should stay just the way you are, girl. What kind of a question have you got to ask our panel members tonight, Harriet?
Well, I want to ask them whether I should use my name Sniffle in my future professional career, or whether I should change my name.
That's
I have
right.
quite a bit of trouble with it.
Yeah, I can... Harriet Sniffle, right?
Snickle, yes.
Sniffle.
Not schnuckle or snorkel or snooky or anything like that.
Snickle. Oh, I've got it. Snickle.
That's right.
There aren't many of you left, I imagine.
No, if you ever run across a snuckle, they're related to me.
All right. I'll keep my eye out if I ever bump into a snickle. Oh, okay. Let's turn it over to our panel members. Cotty, do you think that Harriet Snickle should change her name for a professional career?
Listen, you're going to make your name. Never your name going to make you. Don't change it. You know, with me, and it's very hard to say Katy Jurado. They call me Katie Jurado. But, okay, I understand.
You understand, huh?
Yes.
Okay. You would advise her not to. You think it's a provocative kind of name?
Yes. If you want to make your name, you want to work so hard, it's work. And it's hard to get it. But don't worry. You make your name. Never your name going to make you.
Uh-huh. All right, let's ask Preston about that. Might be a little different point of view from a director or producer.
Well, from the point of view of a director or producer, these young ladies have had ways of changing the question so that just about the time we thought of something to reply, it was changed in some way so that there was no reply.
Just about ready to answer.
I was just about to say that probably the young man that she fell in love with would change her name for her when she said, in my professional career, which left me high and dry. I can only end by saying that a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. And such a very pretty young lady, it doesn't really matter what her name is.
You think
Anyway,
it's all right?
he's going to call you honey or sweetie, darling.
Yes.
My love. I love you.
In this case, he may call her Hot Rod or something like that. You would not advise to change that?
I would see no reason whatsoever.
Snuckle is okay with
Snuckle
you?
is fine
Wasn't he
with me.
proud because his father and his mother put the name? Was the reason?
Yeah, I imagine they did. That figures. Yeah. All right, the panel agrees, apparently, Harriet, that you should retain the name of Harriet Snuckle.
And then I'll do
Will
until
you
I
do it?
become married and change it legally.
Change it, all right. You got somebody in mind? Did you
No.
Okay. All right, and if I ever see a snuckle on the street, I'll know what to say.
Okay, thank
Thanks a
you.
minute. Candidate for beauty number 2, folks, is Harriet Snuckle. Yes, indeed. All righty. Gentlemen, you know, of course, that we are sponsored by Gledhill Dodge Plymouth, very wonderful organization, famous for their exclusive make-your-own appraisal offer. You tell them how much you want for the car that you have, make your own appraisal, and I bet you'll make a deal down there tomorrow if you'd go down there. You'll be driving a brand new car, Gledhill Dodge Plymouth. Tell us a little more, will you, Lou?
You bet, Jack. Because at Gledhill Dodge, everyone makes their own appraisal on the car they want to trade on a new Dodge, Plymouth, or 53 Dodge truck. And say there's a big shipment in right now. As a matter of fact, 150 new cars are ticketed for Gledhill this month alone, with bigger shipments still to come. More new cars coming from the factory and way back east, too. Any wonder that tomorrow's the big day? Yes, tomorrow's the day to get just the car you want at the price you want to pay. Gledhill must make way for more new cars coming in Monday morning. And don't forget, you still make your own appraisal tomorrow at the one and only Gledhill Dodge Plymouth, 7720 South Vermont, right here in Los Angeles. Make your own appraisal. Remember, tomorrow is the day. Get the deal of your life at Gledhill before 10 o'clock tomorrow night. They've got a giant stock of new cars and trucks that must be sold. And now back to Jack Rourke.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now we continue with candidate for beauty number 3. Remember, it's up to the studio audience to pick the winner tonight. We've seen 2 of the candidates for beauty. There will be 2 more. I don't know who's going to win, but we'll be very interested to find out a little bit later on. All right, candidate for beauty number 3 right now Miss Janet Malo, right here. Folks, is 5 feet 5 inches tall, weighs 119 pounds, 18 years of age, blue-green eyes, blonde hair. She was born in Los Angeles, California. She lives now in El Segundo. She's not married. She's a telephone operator part-time. She was chosen Miss El Segundo fairly recently. And that's candidate for beauty number 3, folks, Miss Janet Malo. Hi, Janet.
Hi, Jack.
How do you feel tonight?
Pretty good.
Good shape. Glad to have you with us here tonight.
Glad to be here.
What you been doing?
Lots of things.
Mm-hmm. Now, you're a telephone operator part-time,
That's
huh?
right.
When you're a regular operator, you plug in the things and
Oh, I sure
ask
do.
for numbers, stuff?
Yes, I do.
Do you ever listen in on conversations?
Oh, definitely not.
Don't do that, huh?
No.
Huh?
I'm just the voice with a smile.
Yes, you sure are. Wait till they get... Oh, hello. I'd like to talk to my wife for a minute. Dear, the show, just a little show we have, you know, beauty-type show. There's nothing serious about it. Thank you. Good to see you. Thanks. Excuse me, Janet.
Oh, that's all right.
You're not allowed to listen in?
No, definitely not.
How come? Don't you sometimes have to hear things?
Well, very seldom. We're under a secrecy of communication.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
You can't tell us what you hear, then?
No, I can't.
I was going to have you check on Preston Sturgis' line.
Oh.
All right. You're not married?
No, I'm single.
Any plans? Present time?
No comment.
No comment? Okay. No comment, no husband at the moment, huh?
No.
All right. What kind of a question would you like to ask our panel tonight?
Well, I've noticed in the movies that they type girls. I was wondering what type I would be.
Oh, yes, the type business, typecasting, so forth. It's true. I know. I was up for a part in a picture called The Human Race one time. I didn't get the job. They said I wasn't the type. And so how do you feel about this, Catty? What
Well,
type
I
would
want to ask her what kind of type she want to play.
What kind of parts?
She want to play.
Yeah, what
because
kind?
very important.
What kind would you like to play, Janet?
Well, that all depends.
Well, if you don't know what kind of part you want to play,
Well, I
you
wouldn't
need to
want
make your mind, because then you need to show the producers what kind of part you want to play. And if you play good, they believe in you. Sometimes they have his own ideas, and I think he has the word because he's the producer. What kind of idea do you have with her?
All right, Preston, how do you feel about this?
Well,
I think
this is a
Say
very,
the truth.
this is a very charming and very pretty young woman of the wholesome American type. I don't know why we always say the wholesome American type. We never say the wholesome.
She can play the Mexican, like, the
No.
Mexican Indian. I don't say. I don't know that, but what kind of part?
She could play the type of part
You type?
that Norma Shearer used to play. A very pretty young woman.
Oh, she's
And very
she's,
beautiful.
if I was a man, well.
This girl has a lovely profile
Yes, I
Yes.
can tell.
Thank you.
and a very sweet smile.
So she's an ingenue, basically, is she?
Yes, yes.
What
Young.
kind of part do you think?
Leading lady type, young,
No, ingenue.
Young.
Ingenue.
What
young
is engineer?
romantic type.
Engineer?
No,
They
not-
play,
No.
no,
Not engineer, no.
What is
You're on the wrong track, Connie. This is...
Ingenue. Ingenua. They get to say I don't know anything about anything.
That's right. That's
Well, I'm afraid always this kind of girls always get my man. And always I play the heavy, but they get my man.
That's swell. What Connie says is very interesting. I couldn't quite understand it, but it's excellent.
Well, because you don't speak French, that's why.
Oh, je parle français bien. Il faut...
I said, "Ooh, monsieur."
Oh, excuse me. I guess the decision is that you're an ingenue, young lady, young romantic type, huh?
Listen, ingenue, but this body,
No.
I always play the heavy, and I want to have the figure, really.
Oh, yeah. No, this is a leading lady type. Ingenue, French for leading lady, not engineer. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Thanks a million. You're a leading lady, not an engineer. Candidate for beauty number 3, folks, Janet Malo. Okay. Very sensational. All right, we're going to continue now with candidate for beauty number 4, folks. This is the young lady who has won for 3 weeks in a row. She's back up against some mighty tough competition this evening, I believe. Candidate for beauty number 4, Miss Greta Tyson, right here. Greta Tyson, ladies and gentlemen, is 5'4½". She weighs 115 pounds, 22 years of age, lives in Hollywood now on a visitor's visa where she was born, in Copenhagen, Denmark. She was Miss Denmark of 1951, the equivalent of our Miss America. She is not married. She speaks 5 languages. And I think that I know that Cotty and Preston both speak several languages. So we may do the rest of the show in something else. She was brought over here, Greta was, by RKO movie studios after she became Miss Denmark. And that's candidate for beauty number 4, Greta Tyson. Hi, Greta.
Hello, Jack.
Glad to see you back again.
It's nice to be back here, but I have a terrible, tough competition tonight.
Isn't it tough?
I think I'll have to say good night.
Well,
goodbye.
You never know. The audience will decide in just a minute, but
Yes.
it certainly is. All the girls are delightful this
They are.
evening. Did you speak actually 5 languages? Is that correct?
Actually,
What are they? Let's pick a common
French,
language and we'll all talk it
German,
from now.
English, and which doesn't sound very good because most people think Swedish and Danish are like Swedish and Danish.
Swedish and Danish,
Yes.
both are 2 separate ones, huh?
They are.
All right. What would you like to talk, Preston? German? Hmm?
Ich kann nur ein sehr bisschen Deutsch sprechen.
Sie sprechen gar nicht Deutsch?
Ein sehr bisschen. Ich war in Schule in Dresden und auch in Berlin, aber ich habe es alles vergessen.
Ich habe es auch vergessen. Ich
Shall we
spreche
dance?
niemals.
Okay. Well, my golly.
We could probably do better in French, but I don't know.
Well, the censor is here.
Let's find out a little bit about Greta. Now, Greta, you're not married, is that correct?
No, I'm not married.
Any plans on that line now?
Not really.
A couple of things in the back of your mind, maybe?
Couple of things in the back of my mind.
I see. RKO brought you over here from Denmark,
Yes,
right?
they
RKO
did.
Studios.
From Paris.
From Paris?
Mhm.
Is that where they found you?
Yeah.
And what happened then? Did anything?
Nothing happened. I don't want to talk too much about it.
No, you were here and then
Then-
hardly
Hardly nothing happened. I never saw Howard Hughes, by the way.
never saw Howard Hughes?
No, I never laid eyes on him.
Mm-hmm. Well, that could work both ways, of course. You might, you never can tell, but I should think that when they do bring somebody over, they have a tendency sometimes not to pay too much attention. That's the old business about Hollywood that people talk about.
I guess so, I imagine.
Well, we wish you a lot of luck in the future. What little question would you like to ask
I
her?
would like to...
She's
She's very busy.
Kathy, come back.
I'm talking in Spanish.
Oh. What would you like to ask, Greta?
I would like to ask, how do I get rid of my accent? And how do you get rid of yours?
I never, because in the moment I lose my accent, I lose my type, and I have a not good type, but I have a really good accent. Nobody understands. Listen, with this figure and this face, you don't need looks for your accent.
Don't
Stay
think
the way you are.
You
Listen.
are not right.
I'm not right?
the trouble getting a
Well, I
part.
don't have the same figure. That's why you say I'm not right. I'm all right, and I'm not going to lose my accent because I have enough years.
You
I
think
try
maybe
so
she
hard.
should keep it then, huh? The
Of
accent, that
course.
is.
She's so charming.
Mhm.
And, you know, I don't know why she was talking to him. I'm jealous, you know. But anyway, I think that why are you going to lose your accent? For what for?
So that I can play an American girl in a picture, and so that they won't say, well, we don't have a foreign girl in the
Well,
picture.
they have thousands of American girls.
Well, yes. That's right.
Well, why do you want to lose your accent?
Yeah.
Be the way you are. You charming, you smart, And don't lose it. If you want to lose it, try to get it again. And you get job here. You're telling me? If I
Thank
lose
you,
my
Kathy.
accent, really, I'm going to be in Mexico.
What do you think, Preston?
I agree with Kathy.
Oh, he's my pal.
Right.
We're going to make a picture together.
In other words, you take advantage of what things that she has that could be of advantage right now and not try to change them, like the accent, right?
Why try to change any part of anything so pretty?
Yes, that's right.
Now, I might have a point there.
It's very easy because I'm rather lazy, so I won't try.
So I think it's very pretty. I may lose my accent later, but I don't
But you're
see why
going to lose it tonight with your wife. You're going to start again to talk in English.
Oh, yeah.
Darling.
When I get home, that's right. Okay, we've got to run. Thanks a million
you,
to
Jack.
you, Greta. That's candidate for beauty number 4, Greta Tyson, ladies and gentlemen. Okie dokie. We were telling you earlier, folks, that 150 new Dodges, Plymouths, and Dodge trucks are headed for Glendale and down at Gledhill Dodge, Plymouth in February alone. That is, Gledhill Dodge, Plymouth is down, as you know, 7720 South Vermont. And it's any wonder that they make such amazing deals down there with all these cars and trucks and so forth? Tomorrow, too? Well, what's more, down at Gledhill, you still make your own appraisal on the car you're driving, you know. And right now, I would like to tell you about a couple of folks who did just that, and I'd like to have you meet them right now. Their names are Mr. Abe Knoppow and his son, Gene. Let's bring them on right here, okay? Glad to see you, Mr. Knoppow. You must be Abe, huh?
That's right.
This is Gene.
How do you do?
By golly, let's turn right around here. You got a big boy there.
Oh, yeah.
Holy smokes. Let's see, you got a big family?
No, just the two. I got a daughter besides Jane.
Daughter in addition to. The daughter isn't as big as the boy, I guess, huh?
No, she's about 5'6". Pretty good size.
Pretty good size for a girl. Okay. Where do you live?
In Los Angeles.
Right here in Los Angeles, I see. What kind of work do you do, Mr. Knopf?
I'm a glazer.
Blazer. Uh-huh. Now, what do you do, son?
I'm retired corporal, U.S. Army. I
So,
just taking it easy right now.
glad to see you.
Came back last week.
Just got back, huh? You in good shape?
Oh, yeah, fine shape.
Wonderful, wonderful. How did you hear about this, the Gledhill, that you make your own appraisal? down there? Do you
On
remember?
television.
Heard about it on television.
That's
And
right.
how did it work for you?
Well, when I decided on a Dodge, I went down to Gledhill, and about no more than 15 minutes, I walked out the proud possessor of a new Dodge.
Is that so?
It was that quick, and I might add, I got $1,325 for a 48 Chevy.
Is that so? That was a good deal, then, wasn't it?
About,
How many places had you shopped around?
oh gosh, I don't know. I believe I've been every place in town.
Is that
We
so?
saw our own auto show.
You did? At your own auto show? Okay. How did Gledhill's deal compare with the others?
Well, I've got about, close to $300 more from them than I got from anyone else.
Is that so? Well, that's wonderful.
And I've never dealt with any nicer people than that.
Mm-hmm. How do you like the new Dodge?
It runs swell.
Going fine, huh? You
Yeah.
too?
Just like it. Love it all.
All right. Wonderful of you to come up here tonight. Pleasure to see you. Nice hand for Mr. Knoppow and his son. Okay. Well, folks, that's it. That's why Gledhill says come on in tomorrow. Sunday at the latest. Come on down there tomorrow. Make your own appraisal on your old car, and I bet you'll be driving a new Dodge or Plymouth tomorrow. Sunday at the latest. Don't forget the big shipment of new cars and trucks is in, and a bigger shipment is on the way. They'll do business your way tomorrow down at Gledhill Dodge, Plymouth, located at 7720 South Vermont. Don't forget, 7720 South Vermont. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. You folks in the audience, this is the point at which you pick the winner, so watch very closely. Basis of beauty of face and figure and personality. Here we have a beautiful Whitnow watch for the winner. All the girls get prizes tonight. What I will do is give the number of the girl. Each girl will give her name, then you applaud. Applaud the most for the one you think should win. Don't stamp or whistle, please. Okay, first of all, candidate for beauty number 1.
Liliana Block.
Liliana Block. Number 1. All right. Excuse me, Liliana. Candidate for beauty number 2.
Harriet Sniffle.
Harriet Sniffle. All right. Excuse me, Harriet. Candidate for beauty number 3.
Janet Malo.
Janet Malo. All righty. And candidate for beauty number 4.
Greta Tyson.
Greta Tyson. Okay. All right. We'll have the answer in just a moment as to who wins. Before we do, we want to say goodbye to our wonderful guest advisors. Girls, you were all great tonight. Sure appreciate you being here. But before we announce that winner, we have the applause meter upstairs. Let's say goodbye to our great guests, Connie Gerardo and Preston Sturgis, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Thanks a million to you. All righty. What was the answer? The winner was number 4.
Again.
Number 4. Greta, tight. Don't go away. Hey, where are you going? Huh? Where's she gone? Huh? How did you get up there?
Look at those pretty girls.
How's that? You happy?
Yes, very much.
Take your watch.
Thank you.
Very close tonight. You skinned through, Greta.
I sure did.
Okay, well, girls were wonderful this evening. Tyson for all the girls, the guest folks, and we'll see you next week at the same time. And our guest advisors will be Collier Young, the producer, and his Discovery actress, Mala Powers. Okay, see you later. Goodbye.
Jack Rourke's Beauty Parade is presented by the one and only Gledhill Dodge Plymouth at 7720 South Vermont. The folks who must sell 150 new cars and trucks this month alone. You still make your own appraisal at Gledhill. But most important, they must make way for bigger new car shipments coming in Monday morning. Get the deal of your life tomorrow. The present stock of Dodge trucks, Plymouths, and Dodge automobiles must be sold by the one and only Gledhill at 7720 South Vermont. We want to thank our technical advisors, Margine's Model Agency. Join us again next Friday night at 10 for Jack Rourke's Beauty Parade. Good night.
Friends, here's the winner each and every week. It's the world's finest, most beautiful automobile, the 1953 Cadillac. And frankly, there's one waiting for you right now at the California Car Company, a leader in Cadillac sales since 1921 at the corner of 7th and Vermont. The people who each and every week at this very same time bring you the most beautiful girls in all of California on Jack Rourke's Beauty Parade.
Jack, 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 Jack.
Now we'd like to have you meet our judges tonight. First, the radio and television personality Wendell Niles. Next to Mr. Niles, the lovely young star Margaret O'Brien. And on Miss O'Brien's right, the famous producer and star George Jessel. And then, of course, the one and only Fifi Dorsey. And here's the star of our show, Jack Rourke.
Go. Thank you. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you realize that most of that applause is for our wonderful guests this evening, and we're very happy to have them with you. As you know, this is our Beauty Parade show. Tonight, it's dedicated to the very fine campaign that's being run now for United Cerebral Palsy. The show will be followed at 11 o'clock by a telethon that goes all night and will feature a great number of stars. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Tonight, we have 4 very delightful girls, one of whom will be selected as our winner this evening by our judges. She will be back next week in our finals for the first 13 weeks of Beauty Parade. Then we continue after that into our Miss Universe contest tie-up in which we will pick Miss California. We'll explain it all a little bit later, so we'll continue or start in right away with our first California car candidate for beauty, number 1.
Candidate number 1 is Miss Diane Bruman. Her height, 5 feet 6.5 inches. She weighs 120 pounds, has blue eyes, blonde hair, born and lives in Los Angeles. She's not married. She's not engaged. She works for the City Health Department in the Bureau of Vital Statistics. She can cook. Favorite dish is brownies. Her hobbies, swimming, sewing, knitting. When she gets married, she'd like to have 5 children, 3 boys and 2 girls. She's a candidate for Miss Universe from Pasadena. She'd like to be a model, and she'd also like to be an actress. That's California car candidate for beauty number 1, Diane Bruman.
Hi, Diane.
Hi, Jack.
How are you tonight?
Oh, just fine, Jack.
That's good. Did he say 5 children you would like to
That's
have?
right, 5 of them.
How come you picked 5?
Well, I just like the number 5.
Like 5 round,
Yes,
round numbers. 3 boys, 2 girls.
That's right.
I see. Have you got any plans in relation to a husband up to now?
No prospects yet.
No particular fellow?
No.
Not engaged or anything?
No, not yet.
I see. What kind of fellow would you like to marry? Type
Oh,
and stuff?
I'd like to have someone intelligent and handsome.
Well, I shouldn't. Anything else?
Oh, no, that's about all.
That's about it. Excuse me. How about a hobby? Have you got a hobby?
Oh, I like to sew and cook and knit.
And your ambition?
Well, I'd like to get married someday, but then I'd also like to go into modeling.
Go into modeling and maybe motion pictures, huh?
Oh, I wouldn't mind it.
Okay, well, you certainly look like a likely prospect to me. Have you got a question you'd like to ask our judges, guest advisors tonight?
Yes, I would.
What would you like?
Is it difficult to shoot kissing scenes in a movie?
Kissing scenes in a movie. Is it difficult to shoot? Well, let's find out. First of all, let's start with Wendell Niles. Wendell?
With me? Well, I don't know whether I'm qualified to answer that question or not. I have been in quite a number of pictures, but unfortunately, I never seem to get the girl. I always, down in my heart, actually, I felt that I am the lover type, and I feel that I could do those roles, like the dramatic, the romantic people, like Georgie Jessel and Tom Neal, Rod LaRock, and those people. But unfortunately, the producer never quite sees eye to eye with me, and I always end up usually doing a word description of a football game between Lovable You or Great Neck Tech or somebody like that. But I have, and naturally I've had some experience around studios with kissing scenes. Fortunately, they weren't on the camera, so my wife never knew it. But I think I can honestly say I don't feel really that it would be tough, even if she had garlic for lunch. I think with what you have to work with today, the beautiful girls, I think that I can honestly say my own opinion, sum it up, that that's the kind of work that I dig the most.
I see. Well, thank you, Wen. Very completely put, I think. Miss O'Brien, Margaret, what has your experience been in this particular line?
Well, I've never done a kissing scene before, so I don't think I've had much experience.
Oh,
you haven't had your first screen kiss, is that right?
No, I haven't.
She's not home yet either.
I remember that a lot of the stars who were younger used to make quite a thing out of their first screen kiss, but it's yet to happen to you.
Yes,
huh?
that's right.
I see.
You met Mr. Jessel?
Thank you. George, how about you on this question?
Well, personally, having had experiences in all branches of the amusement business, would you believe that it's hard for me to keep my mind on the question? Give me the question again, Diane.
Is it difficult to shoot a kissing scene in a movie?
Well, what do you mean by it being difficult? What should be difficult about it?
Well, I don't
You
know.
mean, is it hard to keep in the mood of the scene while going through an action which is considered, shall I say, a physical action? Is that what you mean, or what?
Yes.
Huh?
Thank you.
Would you like, I'm not finished yet. Would you like to show me how it's done? Listen, here's the thing. No, I'll answer it very honestly and with a little bit of dignity. It isn't hard to shoot any kissing scene. The one trouble is this. Like there is in all things that have to do with the screen in real life. In real life, you can kiss and go just how you feel about it, you know? Whereas in a moving picture, and particularly if the camera is very close, a kiss that would be lovely away from the camera might distort your mouth, and in a close-up might not look pretty. It might, if you've got a lot of lip rouge on, it might come all over the hero's kisser. I mean, you know. But in this modern age, and as adept as the cameramen are, kissing scenes, if the people are look like they're kissable, are very easy to shoot.
Fair enough. Thank you, George. Fifi, how would you like to comment on this situation?
Well, if it is difficult to make kissing scenes, well, it's not only difficult, it's really a grind. Honest to goodness.
It's a grind.
I have, for instance, done a kissing scene very seldom, but I did one kissing scene once.
May I interrupt you just a tiny minute? I saw her do this. With Napoleon, many years ago.
And he was there. Not tonight, Josephine. No, but I did a kissing scene once with Bing Crosby.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just ready to shoot, you know, with Bing with his arms around me. And the director was Raoul Walsh, and he'd say, Fifi, for goodness sake, will you please close your mouth? I said, well, how can I give it to Bing if I close my mouth?
Singing all the time.
Yes, he would say, Fifi, for goodness sake, can't you make out like you are saying prunes or something? So I would say prunes like this, and he'd say, no, Fifi, that's not the way to say prunes. Don't you know to say prunes? I said, well, I don't care to say prunes. How about I say oranges, for instance? Well,
okay.
I think if I said oranges, I would get a bigger mouthful, would I?
Well, all right, thank you, Fifi. Very interesting.
Well, do you know that really, even right now, I still don't know how to kiss.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, okay. At Bing
My
Crosby.
mother doesn't believe that story either.
The police will be here. Anyway. Go right ahead.
Well, thank you, George. Diane, I think we sort of covered that.
I think very well.
Thanks very much. We'll see you a little later in the show, okay?
Okay, fine, Jack.
All right. Candidate number 1, folks, Diane Truman. Okay. Now, we're going to continue right now with a word from Alan Harvey and the California Car Company, our very wonderful sponsor. Alan?
Thank you very much, Jack. Thank you. Friends, tomorrow's going to be a beautiful Saturday all day. How would you like to have it be a day on which you start driving a fine 1953 Cadillac automobile? Thanks very much. Now let's get back to Jack Rourke's Beauty Parade.
Thanks a lot, Alan. Very nice people at California Car Company. Going to continue right now with our second candidate for beauty this evening, California Car Candidate for Beauty number 2.
Candidate number 2 is Naomi Hazelwood. Her height, 5 feet 4 3/4 inches, weight, 115 pounds, hazel eyes, black hair. She was born in Athens, Texas. She lives now in Pasadena. She's married, no children. Hobby, tennis. In fact, she won several trophies in college at tennis. She went to Lamar State College in Beaumont, Texas, and now at Pasadena City College. She's a secretary in the clothing business, and her ambition is to be an actress and a model. She was a head majorette twirler in college. Her husband, Barton, goes to radio and TV school. That's California Car Candidate for Beauty number 2, Naomi Hazelwood.
Well, Naomi,
Jack.
you're married up, huh?
Yes, sir.
How long
Wouldn't
you
have
been-
any other way.
You like it that way, huh?
Sure.
How long you been married?
3.5 years.
3.5. Where did you meet this boy?
Oh, in high school.
Whereabouts?
Fort Natchez, Texas.
Fort Natchez. Yes,
Where'd you
east.
go up?
Been there many times, right near the
Beaumont.
near the
Port
border.
Arthur.
Okay.
Next to Louisiana.
What was it that Lou said that you did in college?
You mean twirl baton?
Yeah, baton twirler. Did you work hard at that?
About 4 hours a day for about 6 or 8 years.
That took that much practice?
Yes, it sure did.
Then you got-
Since I was real little.
I see. How about a hobby? Got a hobby?
Oh, I'd rather play tennis than eat.
Tennis. Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm sure you folks know that we ask the questions of the girls so that the judges, and you too, will be able to determine what their personalities are like. And you got, of course, a little touch of a southern accent there, huh?
Well, maybe just a little, since I've been there about 20 or 21 years.
Okay. And you work in the clothing business, is that right?
I sure do.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. How about a question for our guest advisors tonight?
What actress in Hollywood has the best figure?
What actress in Hollywood has the best figure?
Yes.
I see. Okay. We're going to ask Miss Margaret O'Brien on this. Margaret, this from based on your experience around. Perhaps there are other thoughts you have concerning whether the figure is too important in that particular field. Miss O'Brien?
Well, I do think it's quite important, and I think all of the Hollywood stars have beautiful figures, but I think that Ava Gardner's is the most beautiful.
Ava Gardner.
Yes.
That's a good nomination. George, how do you feel about this?
Well, I think that the figure of a lovely girl is like any beautiful melody, or it's the one that you think has the prettiest figure. I think Ava Gardner is a beautiful girl and a beautiful figure. I think Jane Russell has a beautiful figure. I think Betty Grable has a figure. I think nearly everybody has it.
When you come right down to it. How about you, Fifi?
Well, it's very hard to make up my mind about that because now you take, for instance, you take Denise Darcel. Now, there's a girl with a beautiful future ahead of her. Don't you think so?
I think so.
And then there's Jane Russell, like George just said. She's a girl with a beautiful profile.
Mm-hmm.
And talking of profile, George, you have a nice little profile, too, except you're not looking in the same direction. Yeah, but my preference is really Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, Marilyn Monroe.
Mm.
Now you take Marilyn Monroe. Now you take
glad you-
January from December. You got a whole year to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And if really that isn't the most beautiful calendar, then June ain't busting out all over.
Well, very good. Now we'll go over to Wendell Niles on this, if we may. How about it, Wen?
I think she's already said it. I think most people probably would agree that Marilyn Monroe has the most beautiful body, possibly because, as you say, Fifi, so many people have seen it. And it's certainly true that she has had the most sensational rise of any young star in the last calendar year, certainly.
If I may interrupt, but I think that because of the general scheme, I think we could all agree and not have any bad friends by saying the 1953 Cadillac has the finest figure of any.
Thank you. All right.
In other words, I'd rather have a sponsor than a date.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So would I, and I think you've helped me keep one, too. All right, I think we've covered that, too, Naomi, pretty well, huh?
I think so, too.
Just a lot of
Perfectly.
different thoughts in there in that figure department. Thank you very much. We'll see you a little later in the show. All right?
Okay.
Candidate number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Now, as you know, folks, we're dedicating the show this evening to the United Cerebral Palsy campaign. And as I mentioned earlier, they're doing a special telethon that will run all night and into tomorrow and tomorrow night. And it starts after our show at 11 o'clock tonight. Now, they're holding it at the Carthay Circle Theater here in Hollywood. And you folks at home are invited to come on over and see the show. There'll be some wonderful stars there, including the people that we have here. Also Bob Hope and a number of big ones. I think Jack Benny and George Burns and Gracie Allen and so forth. We hope you'll come down any time during the evening, or all night, or in the morning, or any time that you feel like it during the next 24 hours or so. So come on over to the Carthay Circle Theater. That's where it'll be. All right, now, as our special guest, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce right now a young lady who is favored tomorrow to win the Pacific Coast Weightlifting Champion for ladies, Miss Beverly Jocker, right over here. Hi, Beverly. How are you tonight?
It's fine, thank
That a
you.
girl. It's an amazing career for a girl to take up, isn't it?
It's different.
Now tell us how. Yeah, I'm not sure that I should be this close to you. How's it going? How much can you lift, and what do you do with it, and so forth?
Well, I press 90, snatch 100, clean jerk 130. But tonight, since I do...
Excuse me, would you give us that again?
Press 90, snatch 100, clean jerk 130. But tonight, since I have to lift...
Indeed.
Since I...
Can you lift a 200-pound jerk? Never mind. This you do tomorrow, huh?
Yes.
And in the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Now, tonight you're going to do all three of those things, huh?
Yes, I want to demonstrate all 3 Olympic lifts,
Mm-hmm.
so you can get an idea what they are.
I see.
And
All right, and this is a weight that's less than you're going to do tomorrow because of the strain tomorrow,
Yes.
right? How much is this?
this is only 50.
Oh, it's only 50 pounds. Oh, excuse me. Oh. It is only 50, isn't it? Yeah. All right, you go ahead now and show us those three. Do you want to? Do you want to comment as you're doing it, or shall I?
The first one is a press, the second is a snatch, third is clean and jerk.
Clean and jerk, yes, I know. Okay. All right, first one will be a press, then. Indeed. That was I, not the girl. Okay. Very good. Now comes the snatch, right? Okay. Wow. Okay. Now comes the clean and jerk. Thank you. Nice. That's both the same. Nice going, Beverly. Now that the form is included, I suppose. In addition to being able to lift it, the form counts, huh?
Counts very much.
All right. Now tell me where this Pacific Coast Championship is going to be held tomorrow.
It's at the Embassy Auditorium on 9th and Grand.
I Grand.
Think so.
Grand.
No, yeah.
Okay. Well, we just.
And it's at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock tomorrow. Anybody can go, huh?
Sure.
Could check that Embassy Auditorium. Check it in the phone book, I guess, huh? Thanks a million, Beverly, for being with us, and good luck tomorrow. Hope you win.
Right, thanks.
All right. Beverly Jocker, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. We'll wander back over here now, if we may. Now, before we continue with the other two girls that are going to compete this evening, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to introduce Alan Harvey, who has a word for us, and then we'll be right on with the show. California Car Company, great group.
You bet. Thank you, Jack. You know, as Mr. George Jessel said just a moment ago, and he was so right, the 1953 Cadillac has got just about the most beautiful body of them all. Thanks very much. Now let's get back to Jack Rourke, the last two girls in the beauty parade.
Thanks a lot, Alan. And also, I have something that the cameraman and our director aren't quite expecting, but I think I'll do this right now anyway. The California Car Company, and Mr. Snyder, who owns it, and both Mr. Snyders, just gave me a check made out to the United Cerebral Palsy Fund, which will kick it off for $100. And I'm going to give it to Margaret O'Brien and George Jessel right now, if I may. Okay? Thank you very much. Okay. Now, both Miss O'Brien and Mr. Jessel will be on this telephone later on, as I believe Mr. Niles and Miss Dorsey will be. And we encourage you to watch all night and into the next day, ladies and gentlemen, for that, because I'm sure you'll want to contribute and become a part of a very fine campaign for a very worthy cause. Now we continue with our next candidate for beauty, California Car Candidate for Beauty number 3.
This is candidate number 3, Rexine Stevens. Height, 5 feet 5 inches, weight, 120 pounds, brown eyes, brown hair. She was born in Santa Barbara, California. She lives now in Los Angeles. She's not married, not engaged. Her hobbies, dancing. Her ambition is to be a professional dancer. She's now studying ballet because it helps to develop lifts in ballroom dancing. Type of work? She's looking for work. She can cook, and her favorite dish is macaroni. And that's California Car Candidate for Beauty number 3, Rexine Stevens.
Hi, Rexine.
How are you?
Looking for work, huh?
I certainly am.
Available for a job.
Definitely.
On the way into a career, what kind of work would you like?
Well, I might like to start back into modeling again.
Uh-huh.
Or just a receptionist job.
Receptionist?
Right now, anything will do.
Is that so? Well, we'll check. If anybody at home would like to talk to Rexine about this, drop us a line. We'd be happy to get you together, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Now, how about this dancing that was mentioned? Is that a sort of a career for you, possibly?
Well, it used to be. I was a dancing teacher for a while.
You taught dancing?
Yes, I taught ballroom. Mm-hmm.
I see. And people would come in, the men would come in to learn to dance?
That's right.
Is it tough to learn?
Well, it depends on the individual. Some want to learn, and some just come in to see who's in there.
I see.
To take a look at the teachers. But they're quite hard to teach. Some of them, if they have good rhythm, they're very easy to learn.
I see. Rhythm is the important thing, huh?
I definitely think so. And the willingness to really become a good dancer.
You really want to try it,
That's
huh?
right.
Now, you take them from scratch, so to speak, and teach them right the very fundamentals?
Well, some people have had lessons. Some people know a little bit about dancing. The easiest person to teach is one that doesn't know anything about dancing. So we don't have to take all of his old habits and his old ways of dancing and redo them into our way.
Just start them right from
That's
the
right.
beginning, like a baby.
That's right.
Okay, and I imagine you have quite a few at the place.
So I had a lot of teenagers.
Oh, did you, younger?
I
boys?
think they were the easiest to teach. Some of them were very nice.
Well, that's interesting. Gives you a good insight as to your personality, too, Rexine. How about a question for our judges tonight?
I'd like to know how the judges got into show business.
How they got in themselves,
That's
huh?
right.
All right, this is a question as to how the judges themselves got started in show business, which most people aspiring to show business are interested in. George, may we ask you first on this? George Jessel, please.
Yes, you can ask me. And first, I'd like to say that if this young lady is finding it hard to get some sort of work to do, or whatever particular line that she wants, then somebody has a lot of bad taste, because I think this is the most attractive girl. I would say she's a combination of Rita Hayworth, Ginny Sims, and Rhonda Fleming, all chucked in one. And I don't see the light on it. Oh, there it is, yes. I would suggest of 2 or 3 men that I know, like Leo Tannenbaum, and Leo Friedman, and Maury Friedman, who in the ladies' dress wear, and if she'd like to model, I'm sure that we can get, is it Rexine?
Rexine.
I'm sure that we can get Rexine something to do. Now, you can hold me to that.
Very
now, as to a question, as to how I got started in the amusement business, well, this was quite a long time ago. I don't remember the exact date of my debut. I can only remember that General Custer was the stage manager in the theater. So I started a long, long time ago, and I had 2 partners, as a matter of fact. One was Jack Wiener, who was an artist representative here in California. The other was Walter Winchell, who was on our network.
Yes.
And then I had a further partner, Eddie Cantor, with whom I appearing with Sunday on another network, but it doesn't amount to anything. And I started so long ago that it would be silly for me. As a matter of fact, there's been 3 books written on it. One was banned in Boston. I began in 1910 in a motion picture house. That's how I started.
I see. Thank you, George. Very interesting. How about you, Fifi?
Well, if I can remember that far, too, I'll tell you what happened. Oh, please.
I'd skip that whole thing if I were
Let me
you.
tell it. Please. Honest to goodness, let me tell
No,
it.
she was dancing with a lot of kids. That's why. Go on.
Well, I'll tell you. Please, let me tell it, George.
ahead, please. Restez tranquille, madame, restez tranquille.
Softly, my little
Je
chicken.
suis son père,
Let me
c'est
tell
pas
it. I'll tell you what
Je
happened.
suis sûr que je l'appelle les gendarmes, et les gens sont perpétrés, et les Bastilles, ils sont perpétrés. Go on.
Oui, oui.
Dis-moi, pardon, mais
Those
je vais le
Spanish,
raconter.
that's nice.
Wow.
I met Georgie Jessel, see?
You did? Some time ago?
Yes. And, well, some time ago, you see, I met Georgie Jessel, then I cut my 2 front teeth, and I was in.
All right. Over to Wendell Niles on this. I'm not sure I understand that. No, never
I'd
mind.
rather that you didn't just go to Mr. Niles. Merci mille fois, madame.
You think it's over today when you go home.
Thank you. How about you, Wen? How did you get
Well, I'm
into
not
this?
quite sure either, Jack. I know that at a very early age, people realized that I stood out. I know that even in the first grade, I was different than the other kids, 5 or 6. I was 12. But my father, I think, did feel that I had talent. I know he told me when he left me at the train, he said, son, you're going a long way. And just to make sure he nailed the door of the boxcar shut. But no, seriously, I started in radio. I'm one of the oldest, in point of service, of course, a comparatively young man. But I started right after Marconi, I believe. I was in radio. I did, seriously. I started in 1923, and that's a long time ago. Before then, I was an orchestra leader. I tried professional boxing a while. I was rode in rodeos. I was with Bob Hope 8 years. I'm feeling much better now. I'm getting my health back.
Fair enough, Wen. Thank you.
Margaret, of course, we all know that you started at a ripe young age. Do you want to tell us how it came about?
Well, when I was 5 years old, they were casting for a part in Journey for Margaret. And I wanted the part so badly that Mother took me out. And at first I wasn't the type. So then she dressed me in curls, and I still wasn't the type. Then she dressed me as a Scotch girl, and I wasn't the type then. So then she finally dressed me in my plain pigtails, and I got the part. And the director never found out that I was the same child that kept going back, dressed differently.
That's so very interesting. Rexine, I think we've covered it. Okay?
Fine.
Thanks a million. We'll see you a little bit later also.
Thank you very
All
much.
right. Candidate number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. And to continue right now with our next candidate for beauty, she is California Car Candidate for Beauty number 4.
Candidate for beauty number 4, Marcella Roulette. She's last week's winner, incidentally. Height, 5 feet 4 inches. She weighs 112 pounds. Has blue eyes and nice blonde hair. Born in Naples, California.
Not at all.
Thank you.
I need my eggs. Who's the chicken? Georgie Jekyll.
Let's go over to Wendell Niles on this. Thank you. When producer or star, most important?
I think Georgie summed up my feelings exactly, and I'm going to rest on his laurels.
All right, fair enough. Margaret, what's your experience been in that department, producer
Well,
or star?
I think one depends upon the other.
Can't get along without either of them, I guess.
I think that's right.
All right, I guess that sort of sums it up. George, do you have the last word? Not ultimate, you understand?
Well, no, I think that answers it. I think in looking at Miss Roulette, and anybody who wouldn't look at Miss Roulette should go to an eye doctor, that since there is a French game, and the people who get rich, if they do beat the roulette game, generally win a bet and then let the bet repeat. And just giving you an idea how I feel about Marcella.
Well, thank you, thank you. I guess it's about even, producer and star in most departments. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
See you a little later, Marcella.
Thank you.
All right, candidate number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Thank you. We have some prizes we'd like to have you take a look at that the girls are going to get, and here's Lou Cook to tell you about them, folks. Lou Cook.
Right, Jack. We have for each girl on tonight's show a beautiful compact from Elgin American. And for tonight's winner, an attractive and dependable Whitnor watch. And a Miss Universe swimsuit from Catalina, the official swimsuit of the Miss Universe beauty pageant. And for the winner of our finals on June 12th, an actual part in a motion picture with Jack Broder Productions, producers of the great outdoor drama Battles of Chief Pontiac, starring Lex Barker and Helen Westcott. And a silver blue mink stole from the California Car Company. And a week's vacation for two at Wilbur Clark's Desert Inn at Las Vegas. A wonderful place to relax with a swimming pool, golf course, and the best in food and entertainment. That's Wilbur Clark's Desert Inn. And now, Jack, I think it's time to meet the four girls on tonight's show once again.
Right you are, Lou. This is our reprise. We take a look at each of the girls again. We're going to ask the audience to hold the applause till the end. This is number one, folks. Diane Vrooman, height 5'6½", weight 120, blue eyes and blonde hair. And then we go over to number two, Naomi Hazelwood, height 5'4¾ weight 115, hazel eyes, black hair. And number three, Rexine Stevens. Her height is 5'5", weighs 120, has brown eyes and brown hair. And number four is Marcella Roulette, height 5'4", weight 112, blue eyes, ash blonde hair. How about a hand for all the girls, folks? All righty. Very nice. Very difficult choice, I would say, this evening. Very, very lovely girls. The winner will be back next week, as you know. Before we find out the decision from the judges, I'm going to introduce Alan Harvey right now. Then we'll be back. Al, thank you.
Thank you, Jack, very much. You know, many of the people who've been driving little older model Cadillacs, like 1950s, 51s, and 52s, have, of course, traded them for new 1953 Cadillacs at the California Car Company, the Cadillac Center of California, at the corner of 7th and Vermont. Thanks very much. Now let's get back to Jack Rourke and find out who tonight's winner is.
Thanks a lot, Alan. California Car Company, 701 South Vermont. I want to thank very much. Before I tell you the decision, Marge will bring it out to me just a second. I want to remind you about the United Cerebral Palsy Telethon, which will follow at 11. Be sure to watch and contribute to that. I want to thank ever so much our good guest advisors this evening for participating. It's very nice of them to be here, not only because of everything else that's involved, but because the girls like to hear words of encouragement from people who have success in show business. I'm sure you all know that. I want to thank Fifi Dorsey, George Jessel, Margaret O'Brien, Wendell Niles, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks a million. All right. What's the answer, Marge? We don't say which judge voted for whom. The tallies are added up, and the winner tonight is candidate for beauty number 4, Marcella Roulette. Marcella, you are the winner.
Wonderful.
Congratulations
Thank
to
you
you.
very
How do you
much.
feel?
Just terrific.
Do you feel good? A little nervous?
Just a little.
All right, you'll be back in the finals next week, Marcella, right?
All right, fine.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you later. Okay. Folks, once again, thanks a million for being with us on Beauty Parade. If you're interested in participating on the show, please be sure to drop us a line here at ABC Television. And stay tuned, of course, for the telethon that will follow in just a little bit. Till next week, then, Jack Rourke saying thank you very much again, and good night. Hacienda.
We wish to thank Jean Leonard for her cooperation and assistance on tonight's program.
Friends, Jack Rourke's Beauty Parade is presented every Friday night at the very same time by the California Car Company, a leader in Cadillac sales since 1921, located at the big corner of 7th and Vermont here in Los Angeles. Now, at the California Car Company, you have your choice of more than 80 1951, 2, and 3 Cadillacs, as well as more than 200 clean, late-model Cadillac trade-ins, all at prices you can afford on terms you can handle. And now this is Alan Harvey speaking on behalf of Sam and Bernie Snyder, the owners and operators of the California Car Company at 7th and Vermont, inviting you to be with us again next Friday night at 10 o'clock for Jack Rourke's Beauty Parade.
For anyone interested in appearing in the Miss Universe contest, may we suggest you contact the Carolyn Leonetti Studios in Hollywood, the Linda Talon Studio in Pasadena, the Bill Adrian Studio in Pasadena, the Fan Photo Studio in Culver City, the San Gabriel Sun in San Gabriel, the Monterey Park Progress in Monterey Park. Or you may contact Jack Rourke at KECA TV, Hollywood 27, California.
Jack, 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 who